One of the best ways to get better at pickleball is to play people better than you, but it becomes like a difficult thing for players to do to figure out, how do I get in those better matches, because I need that to get better.
Just put yourself out there. The worst they can say is no. Don't be mad if you're rejected.
People should ask more.
Yeah.
Like, closed mouths don't get fed.
Can we talk about the new SLK era paddle?
Yeah.
Okay, what do you like about it? And then I'll tell you what I like.
Honestly, it's super stable in your hands. It's a lot of power, but I really like that because of the dwell time, I can really take pace off the ball if I need to. And honestly, just the technology is probably my favorite Selkirk paddle that they've released.
There are two different shapes, the elongated and the wide body.
Yeah, brand new shapes.
I am obsessed with the wide body. For the first time ever for a wide body paddle, I'm not mishitting my two-handed backhand. I'm not mishitting my counter because you still have that longer handle. I'm super, super impressed with it. And if you guys want to go check out the new SLK Air paddle, go to selkirk.com and choose elongated or wide body. And I promise you, you are going to love it because we're obsessed. What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Pickleball Connection podcast. I'm Danea.
And I'm Barrett.
And we're stoked to be hanging out with you guys today. Today, we're going to be doing a little bit of a CTN, which is Cruise the News, talk about all the latest pickleball things happening. So let's just jump right into it.
Yeah, we're going to briefly go over to a forum post that I saw on a Facebook forum. I just want to get your quick thoughts on it. And then let's jump into MLP because we have some big updates from Major League Pickleball.
Huge updates.
And then something exciting after that to talk about as well. So let's just start with this. I came across this post and this guy says, which we've talked about something like this before, so I want to see what you think. But he says, your unwillingness to continually seek out tougher opponents is what's holding your game back. So, obviously we've talked about this before, like one of the best ways to get better at pickleball is to play people better than you.
Sure.
But, it can be kind of hard to get those games at certain levels, because a lot of times like a 4-5, 5-0 player doesn't really want to play with a 3-5, 4-0 player. They want to play players that are at their level or greater. Mm-hmm. And so it can become, we've talked about this, pickleball levels wise can become a little cliquey.
Yeah. Totally.
And that's not, I don't think, maybe in some communities there's drama, but I think in a lot of times it's just like people wanting to play good games, people wanting to play competitive matches. So it becomes like a difficult thing for players to do to figure out how do I get in those better matches, because I need that to get better. I know that like you and I like love playing people that are better than us. Right. Mm-hmm. But to get an invite to like a low level pro type of match, like mid fives, like that's kind of difficult. So this guy says, though, your unwillingness to continually seek it out is what's keep holding you back. So I thought that was interesting. And the comments were kind of interesting as well. And it kind of made me think like, well, maybe I do need to try a little harder to like seek out better players. So what do you think about like, what advice would you give to somebody that's like wanting to play with better players, and how would you go about like growing that in your personal journey, or any thoughts you have there?
I think a couple things. Like one, there really is going to be, you have to have a healthy level of respect for it. I saw somebody say once, or I maybe read it somewhere, where it's like the gameplay is only as good as the lowest level on the court. And I almost like kind of agree with that. Like if you have somebody that's playing at a low level on the court and everybody else is at a higher level, like you kind of all feel it in the game. Like
the floor, like the person that's the floor, the higher the floor, you feel it in the game. The lower the floor, you also feel it in the game.
Yeah. So like I'll hear people be like, oh, well, I played a game with so-and-so and whatever, like I can hang. And it's like, well, like actually everybody's game felt lower as low as I don't know. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, yeah. Unless maybe if you have like a top 5 player in the world that can really take up a lot of court, but even then you still have serves, returns, you still have things you have to deal with. And
So
It is true. I felt that too.
Yeah, I think you have to have a level of respect. Like, it's hard for me when people complain about it and they're like, oh, like, I'm so mad I never get invited. And I'm like, well, like, have some respect, right? Like, and in the sense too, like, that's not the only way you get better. Go make sure you're going and drilling, make sure you're taking lessons from a really advanced coach. You know, if you really want to get better, playing people isn't the only way to get better. You know, raise your own floor or ceiling or whatever phrases, and do that. That being said, I do think that there is also a side to going and seeking it out. I can totally see that as well. And you can do that in a lot of ways. I think one of the intentional ways that you can do that is, asking those players to drill if they're interested, like, getting to know people on a relational level. Obviously, people are going to play with people that they like and that they know. And I think too, when you get into a game with a higher level player, don't ice them out. They're not going to want to play with you if you ice them out.
Right.
So things like that, I think actually go a really long way. And even just telling them like, hey, I know that you're at a higher level than me. I really want to get to the place, I'd really love to like get to the level. Like, can I drill with you? Or like, is there any way that I could play with you or whatever? Like, just put yourself out there. The worst they can say is no,
Yeah. I think probably a lot of it maybe also has to do with the dynamic of your kind of home court or what what the scenario is. Like a lot of courts, they have a paddle rack system and there can be like this pressure if there's a line to not want to play with somebody that's going to cause you to lose or even like, I know that like I went and played about a week ago and you weren't feeling very good. So I went up there by myself and I kind of got paired up with this partner and it was like, I'd never seen him before at the courts and our home courts are like organized, like there's an advanced side and then there's a beginner side. And on the advanced side, all the courts are like winner stays and then there's a challenge court. And people are just rotating through the paddle rack system. So I kind of got paired up with this other guy because he was a single and he clearly was just like it was kind of uncomfortable how like nobody was really missing but him. And so the other team, like they want to win. They want to stay on the court. They don't want to go back and wait in the paddle rack. So they're hitting every ball to him. And, they got up on us like 9-4. And I think they started to see that I was like a little frustrated because I wasn't touching many balls. It's also like it was another guy and so like we're playing straight up and it's like always kind of awkward to be like, hey, let's stack when it's like another guy that you don't know. So like I'm like stuck on the right for like a really long time and he's like a taller guy so he's like trying to take up a lot of court but probably 4 or 5 points in a row just dumping to the net and he was getting frustrated, but then the other team saw me. I kind of just felt helpless because I'm like, oh, well, we're going to lose. Like, I'm going to go back in line and hopefully I don't get this partner again. And so the other team started like hitting to me because they felt bad. Well, I kind of got a little hot and then we rattled off some points. We ended up coming back and winning 11-9. And some of that I think was, because the other team like was like, shoot, we shouldn't have hit the ball to like the better player. We should have kept hitting,
kept icing him out.
But I could see that the other team was in a dilemma. So the point in saying that is that like when there's one player that's clearly the lower player, it does kind of take away from the vibe of the overall game and the overall court. So you just kind of want to make sure that if you go try to play with better players and you recognize that like there's a big level difference, like you probably should not continue in that group until you like get better. You should not trying to keep coming
it's
around.
Not even, and I wouldn't even say that. I would say go ahead and try, but like don't be mad if you're not like if people don't be mad if you're rejected. Like feel free to try. I actually think you should.
Yeah, to this guy's point, I think people should ask more. Like you don't, closed mouths don't get fed, right?
Yeah,
so like,
exactly.
Go ask,
but like don't be mad if the answer is no, because there's just you have to respect where people are at in their game, and not everybody is just like I want to do this for fun. There's some people out there that are training really intentionally to like play pro or play low level pro or whatever.
Yeah, I just think it's interesting. This guy was just like bringing it up that like there's a lot of people that are just simply unwilling to seek out better players because they feel like the better players don't want to play with them, which is probably kind of true. But if this guy's basically saying, if you're unwilling to like go try,
then
it's going to hold you back.
Never going to play someone better. Yeah.
Interesting point. Let's move on to the next point. If you're good with that, we want to talk about Major League Pickleball. So do you want to give like a brief update of what just happened and kind of maybe Major League Pickleball for people that don't know?
Yeah. So Major League Pickleball, for those of you who don't know, is the team format of pickleball, which is happening right now. We just had the second to last event. What is that called?
Yeah, so it's the playoffs, and then the next event's the finals.
The finals. Okay, so we just had the playoffs, and it was very exciting, actually.
Yeah.
So the teams that kind of made it through the round ended up being the Columbus Sliders, New Jersey Fives, Shocks, and the LA Mad Drops.
Yeah.
That being said, what the big kind of upset is the Columbus Sliders ended up beating out the Dallas Flash, who were last year's previous winners of the entire thing. And they have the same winning team as team lineup, players and everything as last year. So it was an upset.
It was an upset. I mean, what's interesting though is, the way that they structured the playoffs is that the top teams got to pick their matchups. So the top seeds. So the Shock was the first seed, and
who'd they pick?
They picked the Squeeze,
smart, which was technically the last rated, ranked team,
right? So then you had the next team was the Dallas Flash. So they were the second seed basically, and they ended up picking the Columbus Sliders, who ended up beating them. But a lot of people before the match even started were like, why did they pick the Sliders?
Because they were ranked 5th, right?
I think the Sliders were ranked 5th. They definitely weren't the next.
They weren't.
There was another team. There was
Ranchers.
There's the Ranchers
and the Mad Drops, but the Mad Drops were.
But the Mad Drops were rated that low just because they have only had been for one event.
Exactly.
So they knew it kind of came down to like the Flash, them choosing the Sliders or the Ranchers, which a lot of people like. The Ranchers feel like the obvious pick.
Yeah.
Just because the Sliders are a pretty well-rounded team. They're a dangerous dream breaker team.
Scary singles, yeah.
And all of their matchups, they don't really have like a weak spot, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean,
they're all pretty
Leia
strong.
can get in her head a little bit, but other than that, I don't think they really have a weak spot.
But again, when Leia's on, and Leia's dangerous because Leia knows singles.
Yeah.
So
she's big, she hits hard, you know, and so I think it's just interesting because, well, we also should talk about like just the matches were so exciting as well.
Oh my gosh, you guys. I've been in the pickleball scene for 5 years now. I've seen a lot of pro pickleball, and it did get to the point where I was like, okay, I'm just like, feel like it's the same thing over and over. This past weekend was some of the most exciting professional pickleball games I have seen in a long time. The mixed matches were really good. The doubles matches were really good. Andre Diescu was like on fire, roaring. Like it was electric.
Yeah, it did feel very exciting.
Yeah.
It definitely, we've talked about kind of the ups and downs of MLP, how it kind of was really excited when it started off, and then it kind of started to lag last season. Yeah. And I think that the restructuring that they're landing upon like a really good finished product.
Well, the reality too is we're in the finals, so now the teams are not lopsided. You're not watching a complete blowout, right? Yeah. So we're at the end of the season where you've sifted through all of that. I think that's the
we talked about that. It does feel like it's a bit top heavy. Yeah. The Premier League. Hey, have you heard of the new Play More app?
No, what is it?
Basically, the Play More app is like a stress-free scheduling app for pickleballers. So I don't know, we've struggled a lot in group text trying to organize play. You'll set it up and somebody will just like the text. And I'm like, does that actually mean you're coming or not?
Yeah, and it's like, you never know how many people you have, like what rating they are. It's kind of annoying.
It can kind of just be a nightmare to try to organize groups because group texts are just not fun. So basically the Play More app lets you send out invitations. You get an RSVP list. If somebody doesn't show, there's a wait list that will actually like put somebody right into.
No way.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Dang, that's awesome. What's it called?
It's called the Play More app. So you should download it at the App Store, or you can go to getplaymore.com if you want to look at it online. And another interesting piece to all of this is that, Major League Pickleball just kind of introduced betting through, it's kind of betting because it's through Polymarket, which if you guys aren't familiar, Polymarket is like this platform that allows you to basically buy contracts, like yes or no type of simple contracts for like real world events. So you can like buy a contract like, is JD Vance going to be the like president in 2028? Yes or no? And you can buy a contract that says yes, and you agree to get this much in return for your every dollar you spend. So it's like a kind of a way around betting. And Major League Pickleball was launched on Polymarket, which there are other sports are on there as well. But what's kind of interesting, I don't even know if I've told you this, but Polymarket is still like restricted for the US, in the sense that like there was going through some restrictions, and they're saying it will be back in the fall. But in order to like use it in the US, you have to use like a VPN or something that like redirects your phone line to like the UK or Switzerland or something like that. And so it's interesting because there are probably people that are getting around it, but there are people on Polymarket that are betting on Major League Pickleball. Like you can see how much volume has come in. And I originally I was like, dang, there's not many people using it, but it makes sense now because it's kind of illegal if your computer or phone shows that you're located in the United States, it won't allow you to deposit money.
Yeah.
So they're taking a step. So betting's kind of coming to pickleball, kind of, because it's through these contracts, and it's also supposedly you're going to be able to deposit funds in the U.S. this fall. But I thought it was interesting because on there, you have kind of these odds, I guess, of the players that are, or the teams, and like what percentage they have to win it all. So like right now on Polymarket, the clear number one to win Major League Pickleball is 58% to the shock.
Yeah.
And it's 26% chance for the mad drops. It is 13% chance for the sliders.
Look at the fives.
And only 11% for the fives.
Really?
So what's interesting is, right now the mad drops are a clear favorite.
Yeah.
And then clearly the second is the shock are a clear favorite, then the mad drops.
Then the mad drops.
But yeah, there's been about $1,900 put into the shock, winning or losing. There's been $1,600 put into the mad drops, and $1,900 to sliders, $1,900 to the fives. So it's not like a ton of money, but again, people are having to figure out either how to do this legally, or they're
sending it,
investing from the UK or from Australia or something, right?
Okay.
So just for some perspective, like if I were to put money on this, like I'd probably pick the mad drops, which we can talk about. But I think Ben is playing at an insane level right now.
Him and Hunter looked way better.
They looked like pretty unbeatable.
And their singles team is just stupid.
Which we'll go through the matchups, but I'm not putting money on it. But if I was to put money on it right now, if I bet $100, I would win $155. If I bet $100 for the shock to win, I'd win $113. The sliders would pay out. I don't know if it's actually updating. Oh yeah, the sliders went up. The fives would pay out $298.
Oh shoot!
To win on $100 bet. So like, but yeah, I wanted to talk through that because I think it's interesting how kind of we're going to probably see betting get into pickleball more in the future, which I think is going to be good for the sport. It brings an edge and entertainment, just like it does in
brings in views
in any sport, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought it was interesting, one, to see those kind of the odds or the percentage that Polymarket is saying, 58% shock. So I think they're the clear favorites. But like, let's talk about the matchups and kind of how we think it's going to play out.
Yeah. Okay, let's do it. And obviously, by the time this comes out, this will be either all right or all wrong.
Yeah, by the time the podcast is released, I think this will have probably just finished or happened recently. So we'll see how
correct we are.
I don't even think I looked. Do you see who's playing who?
Yep.
Like in the first
Yep.
round?
Yep. Ready? So Friday, Columbus Sliders versus the Shock.
Yep.
Who do you think?
I mean, I gotta take the Shock.
Yeah.
And the Sliders are playing super well though. If Andre plays the way he did,
Dude.
they're gonna be very tough.
Yeah.
I just think, I think the Shock. I think the Shock, but I think it's gonna be closer than a lot of people think. I wouldn't be shocked.
The Shock will take men's doubles.
Probably.
The Shock will take.
I think the Shock take women's. And the Shock take men's.
The Shock take Anna Brighton, Hayden.
Anna
Brighton, Gabe.
No, she plays with Hayden.
Yeah, Anna Brighton, Hayden, and then.
I think right now, I mean, Andre and Paris look very tough.
Andre and Paris, I think, will pull through.
I think to be honest, I think the big difference is going to be women's doubles.
Yeah, I think so.
I think whoever wins women's doubles could win it. And I think it's really hard to count out.
What do you think if they go to a Dream Breaker?
I think it's going to be super close in a Dream Breaker. Super close, super tight.
Because I think actually the Sliders have a good Dream Breaker team.
Oh, they have a great Dream Breaker team. But the Shock do too.
Shock do too.
Anna Bright's their weakest singles player, and she's been training singles. She
literally played singles in the last PPA.
She upset a couple people because she normally doesn't play. So yeah, I would take the Shock. And then on the other side, it's
the other one is LA Mad Drops versus the New Jersey Fives. This will be interesting
because you have the two best players in the world, Ben and Annalie, playing against each other.
Yep, I think that LA Mad Drops will take it. It will be so close.
I think the Mad Drops will take it as well.
I think they're also a more dangerous singles team if they just can win 2 games and take them to singles.
Yep.
I think the LA Mad Drops will have it.
I think the Fives, unfortunately, obviously they made the move to get Noe. He's been playing really well, but I watch them play their matches and they don't look as in control of the games as the Mad Drops did or the Shock or even I don't even think the Fives, and so maybe it does make sense why the odds are the way they are because I don't even think the Fives played nearly as well as the Sliders played in the last event.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I would. So then we have the Shock and the Mad Drops.
Mm-hmm.
If we're assuming that they make it to the finals.
Shocks.
Which, by the way, if you guys didn't know, these aren't just one series. It's a best of 3.
Yeah.
So they play each other through the lineup, and then they have to do it again. And then that's what happened with Columbus and the Flashes that they did a third. They had to do
series. A third set because they split.
Yeah.
So sorry, what were you saying? So if LA Mad Drops move on and Shock.
Yeah.
I know this is not popular. I am gunning for the Mad Drops to win.
It's funny that you say that because, betting odds, I said this when I read the odds. If I was a betting man, it doesn't make sense. I would never take, I don't know. I probably wouldn't take the 58%er because you just aren't going to get as much bang for your buck.
Financially, I'm dead.
But I was going to put some money down before I saw it was illegal. I was going to put some money down on the Mad Drops, to win it all before this last event.
Yeah. Because
the odds were greater. But I think Ben is playing out of his mind. I think Ben and Catherine can beat anybody.
I just think if they can split, their singles team will kill it.
And again, I think that it comes down to, Catherine and Jade are a very tough women's team.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that women's doubles is going to make a huge difference as well.
I agree.
Can Bright and Fahey beat Catherine and Jade? And if they can, then we might be in a dream breaker, which I think the drops.
I think it goes towards the drops.
Goes towards the drops. If they can't, if Fahey and Bright win, then the Shock could win 3-1.
I think I was going to say, I think if the Shock can get the Mad Drops before a dream breaker, I think they're good. Obviously.
Because I will tell you, it is going to be a much harder matchup for Hunter and Ben to play Tardio and Patriquin,
Oh,
especially because Hunter's still kind of, you can tell he still doesn't look super comfortable on the right.
Yeah, he's still
he
learning
played
his
much
role.
better, but he also was playing, they were playing Deckel and Riley Newman,
Yeah, it's
which
very different.
aren't that scary. Like when Hunter has Patriquin and Tardio in front of him, like he's going to get moved around a lot.
I was going to say, and just how aggressive Gabe and Hayden are, it's just, they're a very fierce team.
Yeah, I think that they'll
to me, I'm like, they're the best
speed up a lot of
they're
balls.
The best men's doubles team in the entire MLP.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible. I think that
they're the hardest men's pair, in my opinion.
Yeah, so I think it'll be interesting. I think that the Shock are a very tough matchup for the drops, but I think if the drops can get women's, then you have to beat Ben twice.
Yep.
If the drops get the Shock in women's, I like them in a Dream Breaker. If the Shock women get the Mad Drops women, I think that the Shock could win in regulation.
Yeah, agreed.
That's my prediction. We'll see if it happens.
We'll see.
What if it's like the sliders versus the fives?
Dude, we've been wrong before, so.
Yeah. But guys, let us know. Oh, I guess I was going to say let us know in the comments who you think is going to win, but you'll already know by the time this episode comes out. But yeah, we really wanted to talk about one more exciting thing before we sign off, and that is the release of this bad boy, the Boomstick.
I was going to say, I'm impressed that it's just chilled in your lap this entire podcast.
I sleep with it. No, I'm just kidding. But I wanted to just hear your unfiltered thoughts and opinions on this paddle, and then I'll share mine because there's been a lot of hype and a lot of feedback. So tell me, what do you like about it? What do you not like about it? Anything. But just give me your unfiltered Boomstick opinion.
You guys, I'm not going to lie. This is the best paddle I feel like Selkirk has come out with since the 002.
Do you think it's better than the 002?
Yes.
Okay.
Here's the deal. And this is the reason why I say that. I need to preface this, you guys. I am through and through have always preferred a power paddle.
Right. You used the 002 for a long time.
I used the 002 for almost 3 years, about 2.5 years. And then obviously, all the paddles in the industry just became power paddles, and we've talked about this forever. That being said, I've, as far as all the other power paddles that Selkirk has released, this thing is like by far more powerful than all of them, like by a very good margin.
Did you like it right out of the box, or did it take some getting used to?
So here's the deal. Because I came from playing with the Era, which is technically, I think it's a hybrid paddle.
It's a power paddle.
It's a power paddle.
But it's a power paddle that leans.
It leans all court.
Leans all court.
It leans all court. And so because I was used to kind of calibrated to playing with the Era, I really struggled at first calibrating on my drops and my dinks.
Right.
On this. But to me, like taking 3 weeks to kind of adjust to this, I'm starting to really, really like it. Even on the drops and the dinks, I've had to change. It's taken me some time to get there. But to me, the power outweighs it for me. Something that you should know about my game and why I really like this, one of my strongest points of my personal game, in my opinion, I guess, is my counters. That's one of the areas that I feel like I really have a huge strength and an advantage of in the game. The ball coming off this paddle, dude, the exit velocity, this is 14, it comes off the paddle 14% faster than the Era. That's like a good amount. And so
when you think about like being in a hands battle, like every millisecond counts, especially against better players.
And so I noticed even with like drilling partners that I was winning so many of the hands battles, not because my hands got faster, but simply because the ball was exiting faster off that paddle. So to me, I was like, this isn't a no-brainer for my personal game. If you like power, I just think that you're going to love this paddle.
Yeah, to me, out of the box, there's no break-in period. Like in the sense that other paddles, sometimes there's this break-in period, similar to if like you buy a new pair of shoes and you need to like wear them around a little bit, go on a couple runs, and then they kind of hit their break in. That's the same for a lot of like raw carbon fiber paddles, a lot of thermoform paddles. They kind of have this break-in period, no break-in period. But I do think, to your point, there was a bit of an adjustment period.
Because of what we came from.
Yeah, the adjustment period is more so on my end. It's not the paddle.
Yeah.
It's just, getting used to it. And one of the things I was so surprised about was my ability to reset the ball. Like I love this paddle in transition, and you can't really say that about a lot of power paddles. Like, because as powerful as it is, there's a really nice responsiveness when you're resetting the ball, specifically like out of the air. It feels really nice. And I think a lot of that has to do because it's so balanced. I put this in the hands of some local players, and a lot of them pick it up and they say, wow, it feels so light.
And it's funny because how heavy is this out of the box? Mine was 8.3.
Yeah, it's 8.3 out of the box. I'm experimenting with like a little bit of extra weight, but it doesn't really need it. It feels so light because of how balanced it is. And I think that's what Selkirk was aiming for with this MOI tuning system, these like plastic, I don't know if they're plastic, but these clips on the side, these semi-permanent weights. I think that because of how balanced the paddle is, it feels way lighter than it is. And because of how balanced it is, it's just super easy to reset the ball because it's so stable. So like any sort of like off center hit, like the sweet spot feels really nice. And I love resetting the ball. I'm still kind of dialing in the drops and dinks, but I'm like you, like after a couple weeks, like I feel like I'm dropping a lot better now. I'm dinking a lot better now. Love serving and returning with it. My goodness. And obviously it's great for drives and counters, like you said. But I do think, like you said, every little bit matters in today's game, especially at the high level. So in my opinion, it's the best paddle I've ever played with or hit amongst off any brand, and I've been very loyal to Selkirk for a long time. But I've hit other paddles, and this is my favorite paddle.
Yeah.
So
honestly, if you're a power player, you really should check this paddle out. And I'm not just saying that, like, it's really amazing. And the durability aspect, a lot of these power paddles are core crushing. I just got a comment yesterday. Somebody had a Yola 5, or what is it now, 4?
Pro 4, yeah.
And they were like, yeah, it broke after not even 3 months. And I'm like, yeah. What's crazy is Selkirk has developed this and tested it rigorously, and it's not failed testing.
It's not going to break. And it's indestructible.
And it's honestly under their limited lifetime warranty. So, if it's a great paddle, that's all I can say.
Yep. So, use code INFATP.
Yeah. Use code INF, all things PB.
Okay. INF- all things PB, right?
Yeah.
To get a gift card.
Gift card with your purchase.
Yeah. Also, I'm waiting. They're sending me another one, but I just want a quick side note. There is this like NFC chip that mine didn't come with it because mine got to me before the mass market was sent. But there's this like this chip on the bottom of the paddle that you can scan with your phone to provide feedback, and you can get rewards for your feedback. So a lot of cool stuff happening. Be sure to pick it up if you haven't played with it yet, and or if you see one out in the wild,
ask to hit it.
Just go ask to hit it.
Yeah.
Tell me I'm wrong. But that's all I got. You got anything else?
That's all I got.
All right, guys. Thanks so much for hanging out with us on today's episode of the Pickleball Connection podcast. We'll see you on the next one.